Flying machine. Flying machine. Send the flying machine by Viase. Yeah, use wo Viase. And the Cataria walking. Sika Honoma. Come in the black bay yet or Timin chain, Meten chain, Nay to for Yako AFA. Tetan Kawan until about to let all the 1 year and Kaudako, Jatari will come or somebody will come.
Na some Muslim somebody so not Satamna. And as Satamna castle.
Metro said the chrono na omoye dey uncivilized. Omo nimishe. And obi betre omo education. Mo be civilized.
Okay.
And through that civilization no any name omo ababa aeroplane. Ibn Firnas. Ono Abbas Ibn Firnas. Ono obi a or the first idea in the 9th century say obey flying machine. Obey flying machine. Mo ababa aeroplane.
The Arabs invented the flying machine. This is a very misleading statement claiming that Abbas ibn Firnas made the first flying machine and the first successful flight. The only evidence that exists that supports this claim is the poem. He surpassed in velocity the flight of the ostrich, but he neglected to arm his body with the strength of the vulture. Mu'min ibn said, 886 AD.
The Algerian historian Ahmed Muhammad al-Makari d. 1632 wrote 700 years later. Among other very curious experiments which he made, one is his trying to fly. He covered himself with feathers for the purpose, attached a couple of wings to his body, and, getting on an eminence, flung himself down into the air, when according to the testimony of several trustworthy writers who witnessed the performance, he flew a considerable distance, as if he had been a bird. But, in alighting again on the place whence he had started, his back was very much hurt, for not knowing that birds when they alight come down upon their tails, he forgot to provide himself with one. Ahmed Muhammad al-Makari, 1632 AD.
The authenticity of the written text above cannot be determined since there are no other evidence to support his claims. Difference between a flying machine and a hang glider. A flying machine is an apparatus that uses mechanical power, and which consists of several different parts, each one of them performing a different function. Abbas ibn Firnas made a hang glider, and not a flying machine. The other statement is that it was a successful flight. Clearly his hang gliding was not successful since attaching wings, falling down, and breaking bones, is anything else than successful. The most important part of the plane is lift, drag and thrust. Abbas ibn Firnas made a hang glider, and not a flying machine. The other statement is that it was a successful flight. Clearly his hang gliding was not successful since attaching wings, falling down, and breaking bones, is anything else than successful. The most important part of the plane is lift, drag and thrust.
Abbas ibn Firnas, ono obi a or the first idea in the 9th century say obey flying machine.
Earlier flights than Abbas ibn Firnas. The Chinese Emperor Wang Mang recruited in 100 BC a soldier to be bound with bird feathers, who had 2 giant wings strapped to his back and covered with bird feathers all over his body.
Another Chinese emperor, Gao Yong, used prisoners in 559 BC as test people to achieve flying. One of the prisoners named Yuan Wangtu is claimed to have landed safely from a tower jump.
In 559 BC, a Chinese prisoner named Yuan Wangtu was sentenced to death by being flown off the top of a large tower attached to a kite. He survived the flight and claimed the record of the highest jump survived by a person in the process. He was later starved to death in prison.
Furthermore, kites have been invented by the Chinese since around 400 BC. Archytas, 428-347 B.C., invented the first flying machine, which has a shape of a bird, and is alleged to have flown 200 meters. He nicknamed it, the pigeon.
Flying machine. Send a flying machine by Viase. Yeah, use wo Viase. And
statement that the flight of Abbas ibn Firnas was the founding of flying is simply not true. Today's flying machines are based significantly in physics, aerodynamics, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering and different inventions. What Ibn Firmas did was basically only making wings and crash down, with no success or control. The planes, rockets and jets today are much more advanced than meets the eye. For example, there are ramjets and scramjets. The aerodynamics of the wings and plane body, the electronic systems, how the chemical fuel is converted to mechanical energy, nothing of it was known to mankind in the medieval ages. In 1979 NASA improved the efficiency of fixed-wing aircraft by reducing drag, with their new invention called winglet. In the 1970s NASA developed the supercritical airfoil, which led to the invention of supercritical wings (SCW), used by almost every plane on the planet. Now there are other types of flying machines, and not just wing-inspired from the birds. This includes space shuttles, missiles, helicopters and air balloons. Scientists around the world are researching in a technology called anti-gravitational propulsion system, which is completely unrelated to wings and air. Chinese were the first people who made the first flights with wings before Abbas ibn Firmas in the 9th century, and today's space shuttles, missiles, planes, rockets and air balloons are much more advanced and works entirely different.
Daniel Abdul's, John's Let's Uti Daawa, keep flying, you are better than this. This UT like Daawa lied too much la. Nawa oh.